All right, imagine spending nearly $100 on a smart speaker in 2026 and discovering it's either a complete game changer for your home or just another AI-powered gadget trying to justify its existence. The new Google Home speaker promises smarter conversations, better sound, and a fresh Gemini-powered experience. But is it actually worth your money? Or is Google asking you to pay more for features that used to be free? Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It genuinely helps me keep bringing you honest tech reviews without the hype. So here's the thing. The Google Home speaker arrives almost 6 years after the Nest Audio and 7 years after the Nest Mini. That's a surprisingly long wait for a company as massive as Google. And after all that time, I expected something a little more mind-blowing. Instead, what we got is a pretty modest update. At first glance, the Google Home speaker looks a lot like Apple's HomePod Mini. It has a compact orb-shaped design, fabric covering the exterior, and 360-degree audio that fills the room regardless of where you place it. It comes in 4 colors, including some fun options like berry and sage, and honestly, it looks clean enough to blend into almost any room without screaming, "Look at me, I'm a tech gadget." One thing I immediately liked is the light ring around the bottom. It glows and changes colors when you interact with Gemini, and it's surprisingly elegant. It gives the speaker a little personality without being distracting. It's one of those small details that makes the product feel more polished. Now let's talk about sound quality, because for most people, that's still the main reason to buy a speaker. Compared to the old Nest Mini, this thing is a huge upgrade. Google squeezed a larger 58mm driver inside, and the extra size makes a noticeable difference. Bass feels fuller, music sounds richer, and overall audio has more presence. If you're upgrading from a Nest Mini, you'll probably wonder why you waited so long. But things get a little more complicated when you compare it to the Nest Audio. The older Nest Audio actually had a dedicated tweeter and a larger woofer. So in some ways, the new Google Home speaker takes a small step backward on paper. Surprisingly though, it still sounds really good in everyday use. It's more than capable of filling a bedroom, office, or medium-sized living room with quality audio. No, it won't compete with premium speakers like the Sonos Era 100, but it's louder than the HomePod Mini and delivers stronger bass. For a $99 smart speaker, I think most people will be perfectly happy with the sound. Now, the real reason the speaker exists isn't the hardware. It's Gemini. This is Google's first smart speaker designed specifically around Gemini for home, and that's where things get interesting. The speaker includes 3 far-field microphones, and in my experience, voice detection works extremely well, whether music is playing or people are talking nearby. It does a great job hearing commands from across the room. Basic tasks are exactly what you'd expect. You can play music, set timers, ask questions, control smart home devices, and get information quickly. But Gemini is supposed to be more conversational. Instead of asking one question at a time, you can hold a more natural back-and-forth conversation. For example, you could ask about today's World Cup matches, follow up with questions about team performance, and then ask about weather conditions during the game without repeating yourself. And honestly, when it works, it's pretty impressive. The Assistant feels smarter than previous versions of Google Assistant, and conversations flow more naturally. It starts feeling less like a command line and more like an actual assistant. Unfortunately, there's a catch. Some of the best Gemini features require a subscription. Google now offers home subscription plans starting at around $10 per month. The standard plan unlocks things like Gemini Live, expanded camera history, smart notifications, and additional security features. The more expensive tier adds even more video history and advanced AI-powered summaries. For users heavily invested in smart cameras and home security, the subscription might make sense, but for everyone else, it feels a little disappointing. One of my biggest complaints is that features like Gemini Live, the feature that makes conversations feel truly natural, are locked behind that paywall. The hardware is already sitting in your house. The AI is already built into the experience. Having to pay monthly for some of the coolest features definitely takes away some of the excitement. And then there's the software situation. If you spent any time reading Google Home discussions online lately, you've probably seen complaints about bugs, unreliable automations, and features changing during Google's transition from Assistant to Gemini. I haven't experienced anything catastrophic during testing, but I can understand why some longtime Google Home users are frustrated. Simple smart home controls worked fine for me. I was able to manage connected speakers, control a TV, and even trigger a robot vacuum without major issues. I also experimented with creating automations through voice commands, and while Gemini got surprisingly close, I still had to jump into the Google Home app to fix a few details. So while Gemini is powerful, it doesn't always feel fully polished yet. And honestly, that's the story of this entire product. The hardware is solid, the sound quality is good, the design is attractive, the microphones work great, but the software still feels like it's evolving in real time. So, should you buy the Google Home speaker in 2026? I think the answer depends on who you are. If you're new to smart speakers, want decent audio, and are curious about Google's AI future, this is actually a really good starting point. It sounds good, looks good, and introduces you to the Gemini ecosystem without spending a fortune. But if you already own Nest speakers and you're frustrated with the current state of Google Home and Gemini, this speaker probably won't magically solve those problems. For me, the Google Home speaker earns a solid 8 out of 10. It's a well-designed smart speaker with good sound quality, useful AI features, and enough upgrades to justify its existence. But subscription requirements and ongoing software frustrations keep it from being an easy recommendation. Google has done its part on the hardware side. Now it just needs to make the software experience as reliable as the speaker itself. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe, drop a like, and let me know in the comments. Would you buy the Google Home speaker, or are you looking at alternatives like the HomePod Mini, Echo Dot Max, or Sonos? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.